Welcome to the Beacon Way podcast, hosted by award-winning executive team of Beacon Media and Marketing. With over 3 decades of experience, Adrian, Jennifer, and Ken give you an insider's view of what's working, what's not, and what's on the horizon for digital marketing. Grow your business today with the Beacon Way podcast.
Welcome back to the Beacon Way podcast. Really excited today have Sanjana, who is joining us, and we're going to talk about all things insurance, mental health, and her company that she's going to share with you guys today, Thrizer. So excited to share, to help people learn about what this is, and thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jen.
So let's just get right into it. I know we've talked before, we've had great conversations. Obviously, I'm a fan of what you're doing. I think it benefits a tremendous amount of therapists that are really trying to go out on their own, or even multi-location practices, depending on what they're trying to do. This is an ever-changing market right now. But I'd like to hear about what really just was the beginning. What was the impetus to found this, to really bring this to the market? Like, how did this all start, and when did it start?
Yeah, no, great question. Thrizer's goal and mission is to make out-of-network therapy simple and accessible for both clinicians and clients, right? And the way that the company was founded was very much on that mission. I can't take all the credit. My co-founder, Ronak, was the one who founded it about 2+ years ago. Our journeys were similar. He was a longtime therapy goer, found his fit with an out-of-network provider who he loved, but the super bill process was an absolute nightmare.
Right.
And he was going to therapy frequently and trying to navigate all of that by himself. Because it was such a nightmare, he was like, if I'm feeling this, then I bet a lot of other people are, right? And if it's an incentive and it makes sense for therapists to also be out of network, then we have to find a way to streamline the whole process. And that's really where the company was founded by a longtime therapy goer. He brought me on because I had a very similar experience with my own super bills and trying to get reimbursement for that, never hearing back on the claims, having absolutely no transparency on how much I was going to get back from the reimbursement. And really our goal is to make the whole process easy, simple, transparent, accessible for everyone, so that it is an actual avenue that both clinicians can be out of network and clients don't have to struggle so much. And so that's really the inception story. What we say is founded by 2 longtime therapy goers who just got fed up of the whole thing and decided to do something about it.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to start a company, when you see a problem or you're experiencing a problem yourself, knowing that you're trying to find a solution. That I think that's where some of even Adrian and my best ideas have come from, actually. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So when was it founded? How long have you guys been in business?
Yeah, so it was founded in February 2022. So it's been around for about 2.5 years now.
Okay. So coming out of COVID and during that whole time, what an interesting time for that. When you guys, what was your decision when you guys first came together of how you wanted to launch this? Was it first to get investors? Did you guys create a viable product first? Like, how did you guys go through that process?
Yeah, we are still bootstrapped. So we didn't want to go the VC route. We felt like we first wanted to see whether there was even a need for this out there and really build a product that doesn't exist in the market. There are a lot of other companies who are trying to make the submission and claim management aspect of super bills much easier, and that kind of already existed. But we felt like that only solved one part of the equation. And our hunch was that if clients still had to wait for reimbursement, that kind of loses its incentive too. So even if you say, hey, you have out-of-network benefits, you'll get back half of your cost of therapy, but you have to wait 4 to 6 weeks. It was like, okay, that kind of helps. There are companies doing that. But like, how do we actually make it even easier for people? And what is that other friction point that exists when clients don't want to wait for reimbursement, or fronting all that money while they're waiting is really a struggle for them? And so we really wanted to build a product that helped address that. And so the first year or two was really getting the kinks of that product out. We just started focusing on growth this year, and that was with my addition. A lot of people are like, oh, it's been around for a while, we haven't heard about Thrizer. And that's because we were really heads down building a product, customer support, and just all the operations that really worked, right? And the relationships with insurances, how do we set up our billing? It was really heads down. We didn't want to bring VCs into it yet. And still right now, we don't want to. We think if that's something we need to do in the future, we'll do it, but we're going to try to stay bootstrap as long as we can. And so that's what our trajectory has been so far.
Yeah, I love that story and that choice. My partner and I made similar decisions, and it definitely
Mhm.
can be a harder road. But I think
Mhm.
there are so many benefits to that for freedom and really,
Yeah.
like, to me, listening to what the market actually wants and not having the
Yeah.
pressure to perform something quickly and immediately for a
Exactly.
return. So that's amazing. So have you founded companies before? Have you been part of that process, this process before, or is this your first time?
My career so far has been in healthcare and tech companies. In the past, I've worked at Genentech, I've worked at One Medical, a lot of just healthcare companies. I had a short stint at Salesforce as well. So I was coming in with just a plethora of experience in healthcare and technology. But it was very much at big companies. And I felt like a clog in the machine, as you often do in corporate. And so this has just been the most rewarding experience because I feel like I can have the freedom to do what I want with a great co-founder who really trusts me. And so, yeah, it's my first time, but bringing a wealth of
Yeah.
experience from more corporate, which was helpful too, I think, and marrying that with my mental health, personal experience and journey, but also just my immense kind of passion for that space.
No, I love that. That's a great story. And it sounds like for the first time out, you guys are doing amazing. So, what has surprised you about the response? Like, where has there been more enthusiastic response from the therapist side, or from the client side? Like, where have you seen, or has it just been a mix of both?
Yeah, I would say definitely both. Our bread and butter product is for therapists, right? We actually just recently launched more of a D2C
Oh,
product where
okay.
clients can access our services without going through their therapist. But for the past 2 years, what we've really been focusing in on is our payment platform. And that's very much geared towards therapists who can then offer all the great perks to their clients. And so we really had to bring the therapists on board first.
Okay.
And really, the way we did that was to make it a win for them, right? And not have it be a financial burden to offer these benefits to their clients. We operate as a payment platform. So every time a therapist charges their clients, an out of network claim is automatically submitted to insurance. So there's no need for super bills. We manage those claims end to end. And we actually even allow the clients to just pay their copay at the time of the session. And then we cover the rest of the fees and wait for reimbursement on their behalf. And so you can imagine if you hear about this, it's too good to be true. What's all of that? But we really wanted all of that to be affordable for therapists because they were the ones who had to come on board and offer it.
Right.
And so we charge a flat 3% credit card fee, which is similar to what you would pay on Stripe or Square or Ivy Pay or any of that, anyways. And the response has been great, honestly. Like the fact that we don't charge monthly fees, the fact that it's just try it out, see how it works for your clients. There's no contract or lock in or minimum. And so that's really how we've been able to win that initial touch point with a therapist. And then they end up loving it and then using it for more of their clients.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Has it just been strictly grassroots as far as like how you've gotten clients and how you like attracted therapists to you? And you guys have the website. I think you did a great job on there of
Yeah.
explaining it, but it really hasn't been just like you said, more controlled growth that you're really working towards.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the last 2 years were very much let's just focus on putting our heads down building the product. So we did do some influencer campaigns, paid ads, both on Instagram as well as Google. But really, what's kicked off for us is our referrals,
Right.
right? We offer therapists the opportunity to earn a benefit when they refer a peer. And if they've had a good experience, that's the strongest, message, right? If we're putting it out there, we're like, hey, this is a great service we offer. It is much more powerful if it comes from someone who's used it for a while and feels very bought into what we're doing. I would say almost like 80% of our people are just referrals. And it's, you mentioned the website. We put out a question that was like, hey, why do you love Thrizer? And we just wanted to have a running
Yeah.
bubble or testimonial on our website, but it ended up being such an outpour of love that we literally created a page called Thrizer Love. It's just warm and fuzzy to hear about this, right? It's being a really positive impact and benefit to therapists. And I think that's just our biggest engine of growth, just making sure that we create a good product and experience and they refer more of their peers to us.
Yeah. I think that is the best way to grow of any business. There's no question. You build the foundation. And then if you really are hitting people and providing something that really is of value to them, they want to share it. So that
Hmm.
is, I think that
Yes.
is absolutely wonderful. So what advice would you give to other people that have a brilliant idea and want to found something from scratch that they feel will make an impact. Have there been people that have mentored or given you guys tips along the way that have been helpful that you would want to share with others?
I would say just enjoy the process, right? I think there's a reason why you want to start a company. There's a reason why you strongly believe in the mission. I think startups and being a founder can be extremely stressful, right? It's like day in, day out, there are fires you have to put out, and
Right.
it can feel like, why am I doing any of this? But I think that if you remember why you started it, remember how passionate you're about that mission statement, and really looking at everything as a challenge and an opportunity. I think the first 6 months, because like you asked, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Even now, I barely know what I'm doing. But I think there was this inflection point about when I was like 5 or 6 months in.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is a really cool. Like the fact that, especially having so much experience in corporate, like the fact that you have the opportunity to really shape your strategy and everything you do and try things and fail and try again and fail, but just learning along the way. It's just like such a fun process. And I think having that like mindset will really go a much longer way than being like, oh my God, this is so stressful. This is so stressful, because it's easy to get into that loop too. So yeah, I think that's probably would be the advice I would have given myself. So I enjoyed it a little bit more the first few months,
Yeah.
but I'm glad I've finally come around to it. And it's something that just like truly just gives me joy, and failures are just the best way to learn. And so we've definitely had a fair share of that as well, but continuing to just grow and learn and evolve.
I've co-founded now, I think this is my fourth, and just did with my
Wow.
husband as well. And the thing that I didn't get in the beginning at all that I completely embrace now, and it's exactly what you're saying, is that the process itself, and really, like, once you've been through it and you really understand, like you said, every day will be different. There will always be fires, and no matter what level you're at in business, it
Mhm.
just, the same stress over $100 I've noticed is the same stress over 10,000 or 100,000. It's just different
Yeah.
level problems, but it all comes down to attitude. And
Yeah.
I've met so many people that had great business ideas, but they didn't persevere through the hard parts of it. And to me, that's the key, because you
Yeah.
will learn.
Yeah.
You will learn from it. Everybody has massive failures or small failures along the way, but that is like the greatest learning point. Those are
Yeah.
the things,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
they're exciting because you're like, "I don't have to do that one again." Okay, I figured
Mhm.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful. So what do you guys have a long-term vision for where you want this to go? And do you see it expanding into other industries, or do you really wanna keep focusing on mental health?
We definitely do see ourselves expanding into other industries. We've already had such an interest from physical therapists, occupational therapists, dietitians. Our product is very optimized for mental health right now. But if we're able to figure out how to do billing, we have it's similar billing, but it's obviously a little bit more complicated and just different for other industries. But we definitely do see ourselves going horizontal across different verticals, and then also going deeper too, right? Figuring out, okay, if we are going to be in this out of network space, what are the other pain points that people have? There's so many different flavors of doing this, right? There's obviously therapists offering courtesy claim submissions via our payment platform. There's clients uploading their own super bills. There's also this other flavor of, I don't want to do my billing through Thrizer, but I do want to upload super bills on behalf of my clients. What about this? There's just so many different avenues we could go. And so we definitely want to work out the kinks of all of that too, but also eventually go a little bit broader across different
Yeah.
industries or different verticals.
That's
Yeah.
similar to some of the decisions we've made, which is to go very niche,
Mhm.
to go deep in the niche. And I feel like once you, really know that model, then some of that stuff can be transferred to other industries. You just have to decide
Yeah.
what you want to do with that. So that's great. So I know you're going to be at the Mental Health Marketing Conference, and we're going to be presenting a
Hmm.
report, which is really exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So this is your first year attending that, right? Is there any
Yeah.
other conferences or any met other people in the industry, or is this kind of the first one?
No, it's our first one for Thrizer. We're really
That
excited.
is awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So anybody listening, I know we have some folks that do attend that conference, but definitely come meet you. I think it's gonna be very popular for sure. So anything
Yeah.
else you want to share? Anybody who's on the fence of, why should I try this, or it seems complicated to sign up, or any of those things? Anything that you can
Mm.
assure people that it's really not that scary? Because it seems really easy to me. Like when I look at it, it seems like a pretty easy system.
It's very simple. So the setup process will take a couple minutes, both for yourself as a clinician and also for a client.
Wow.
It doesn't have to feel, and I understand, right? Being in tech, I'm like, oh my God, tech, right?
Right.
It can be overwhelming.
Right.
And we're really trying to create a system that's very simple. It should feel like you're just charging your clients, and that's all you're doing, right? You're not really doing anything else. Hopefully it takes away the time that you're dealing with insurance. It takes away the time that you're even generating those super bills and helping your clients navigate through it. Like, it just takes away all of that for just a little bit of investment in the beginning of time of setting everything up and onboarding your clients. And so it really should be a very simple process. And yeah, and I think the great thing is a lot of people say, "Oh, I offer super bills." That's great, right? Like, it's a great option. It's good that people are using their out of network benefits and are aware of their benefits. But as I mentioned, I think the big value out of Thrizer is not having to wait for a
Right.
reimbursement. It's just that in-network experience that clients love of just paying a copay and getting out the door and not having to worry about any action items of submitting super bills, waiting for reimbursement, all of that. So that's the experience we're trying to create. And so that's what I would say, keeping that in mind. It's truly trying to change the way out of network feels. And so I would say definitely try it out. Our support team is something that we really pride ourselves on. Like, if you do have any questions along the way, we're always here to help you out.
No, I agree. And I can say from a marketing standpoint, we are encouraging all of our clients to do it that are doing super bill or out of network, because it just makes the experience better for their clients, which means that
Mhm.
just that helps them in
Yeah.
referrals and growing their practices and all of those things as well. Yeah. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
your
that.
time. Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. And I appreciate you sharing today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You have been listening into the Beacon Way podcast. Make sure to join us for new episodes every week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Beacon Way on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.